Hello, welcome back to the channel. Let's just get into the meat and potatoes of it. It's been a bit since I've last recorded. I want my content to not feel forced or talk about things that maybe not matter as much to me at the time I record them, or reflecting and collecting my thoughts. Try to get some, you know, I guess something valuable you could take from here, right? So let's just cut the bullshit and get right into it. So, this one's going to be a little more motivational for sure, but it's about never giving up and always believing in yourself, and things will get better, bro or sis or whoever is out there. Because at the end of the day, tomorrow is not promised, and you never know what's around the corner. Shit can really suck for the time being. Your current life situation may be completely awful. And honestly, 5 years ago, I was probably at the lowest point of my life. I just felt lost. I didn't know what I was really doing with my life at that point in time. I was about to graduate college, and I just didn't know what job or thing I wanted to do in my life. And I just felt really anxious and unsure about my future and whether I succeed or have a job. And I felt pretty bad about myself. I didn't feel like I was getting anywhere romantically with someone. Dating was really tough. I had some personal issues with my emotions and anger issues, and all this stuff just piled up. And eventually, I had dark thoughts, not to the point of, really strongly considering them, but it was stuff of, dealing with really negative feelings that just no one really wants to have in their life, right? And at that time, I was also seeing a therapist and kind of talking through my emotions on how I felt about someone. And I just really couldn't articulate or get a fix on what I was thinking about in my life. And now I can say I'm glad where I am right now. And even though not everything is ideal, there's still some goals and things I want to do in my life, things I want to achieve. Doesn't mean like that makes you less of a person if you don't achieve these goals or you may stumble. Your journey is so. I can't remember what someone said about this, but it was in regards to how everyone is on the same path, but at different points in their life. You could be on step 1,500,000 blah 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 number, right? And someone else is on 1,700,000 whatever. And even though they may be in front of you, you're not behind them in the sense of the path because you're on the same path. It's not like there's two different levels to the path and someone's here and you're there. We're all kind of going through that same path, which is life. And some people, you may take 20 steps, 50 steps backward, 50 steps again, 20 steps forward, 100 steps forward. You may feel on top, and then before you know it, a year later, and your life is completely different. And it's about just having faith in oneself and knowing that you're going to be all right at the end of the day. And that I wish someone told me this, or I stumbled across a video where it was a little reassuring, because I truly believe this now. And even though, like, for example, some things of like what I don't think is ideal in my life, or I used to think in the past, but now I've come to terms with and actually enjoy my present moment, and the pros and cons of just experiencing life right now is being single, like having a girlfriend, companionship, having my own place, thinking about dating as a whole, friendships, going out, balancing being social, balancing meeting new people, but also being authentically myself, and just learning to not push myself so hard that you feel burnt out, and how I use fitness to channel my angst and uncomfortable feelings with. Sorry if you hear the background of the generator going. That's outside in this backyard, but apologies for that. I have no control over that. But yeah, I've just come to terms that what you're doing right now, you're in the right spot. And even though you may not have, I don't know, it's such a mind fuck, honestly, because you could be doing something now that 2 or 3 years later you'll gain perspective on. You're like, I'm glad that happened, but you won't gain that perspective until you wake up the next morning and the next morning and the next morning. You keep living life now and you keep pushing forward regardless of maybe how you're feeling. That's not to say to numb yourself or just be totally disconnected with how you feel about your life, but maybe be more aware of what you're thinking, having more purpose and urgency to your life. Not like, oh shit, I gotta do this, or I'm gonna die tomorrow, or my family's not gonna make it, and all those things. I think it's more so the urgency of what you hold yourself to, but in a healthy manner, to while you're not just beating yourself up or putting yourself down or self-doubt and just all this crap that doesn't really help you at the end of the day. Because I've been down that path, and who's to say I won't walk that path again? I try to stay off it as much as I can, but we're all human, and in times of weakness and by yourself, for me, it's usually like 12:40 a.m. when I'm about to go to sleep, or maybe earlier than that, where I may get some thoughts that I don't want, to be honest, when it comes to, I've talked in the past on the channel, but like online content, I've gotten better with that. I think getting more self-control with marijuana and weed, and how it's almost been 10 months. I haven't even been counting. People say you shouldn't count, so I'm taking that advice, and it's been working well. This is my new identity of just not using that substance anymore. And honestly, I feel pretty great. I feel aware and cognizant, lucid. Those adjectives of just feeling like me, that's a whole other conversation, right? What is you? What would you describe yourself as? That's a little philosophical there. I can only display what I'm recording on here. You won't truly know me or understand me until maybe having a conversation or two or being my friend. I know that's just kind of the nature of online content, is that people are going to make assumptions and opinions of you, but deep down I wanted to record this and share my thoughts, and that just comes with the territory of things in the online content creation world. But I feel this message is important to at least sit down and discuss, because damn man, life really ain't easy, and you need to lean on others and have good friend groups, and socializing and connections with people to where it enriches your life, because interpersonal relationships are very valuable. And besides health, because health is wealth, as cheesy as that saying is, it's so true. I think that's why I'm very passionate about fitness, because without your health being in check, everything else is going to suffer. So what's the point? So I think that's kind of helped me desensitize, or I don't even know if that's the right word to use there. I guess disengage or detach. There you go. That's the word I'm looking for. From money, very superficial things. I like some stuff here and there, but I'm not totally hedonist. Hedonist? It's one of those words where you're very motivated by goals and things that are going on with your life, because it'll just leave you pretty empty. And I don't want anyone to really feel that, because it could feel quite awful and miserable. And some people have even quarter life crises now. It used to be midlife, but I think with social media and the internet and how you can compare yourself to others, you could totally have a quarter life crisis. Maybe in 30 more years you could have a 10th crisis. God, even earlier. Who knows, man? Things are kind of changing rapidly, and you either got to adapt and see how things go, or you get left behind and you're out of the loop. Not so much in like online lingo, but more so like how people communicate. I was having a conversation with my uncle of how the AI dating and AI girlfriends and um, who knows. I think that's completely scary, to be honest. Really robs you of the human element of things, and something deeply unsettling with that. Because I grew up in that generation where I had a childhood that was pretty analog and not super digital until I was a teenager. I didn't get an iPhone until I was 14, 15, or any phone that was a smartphone. So I got Instagram while I was in high school in like 2012 by a girl that I thought she was really cute. And I was like, you know what? I'll download it because she told me to. Because I was just that, like, thinking, oh, I'm going to download this because she's interested in me and showing me attention. But, yeah, it's crazy. Dude, life's so weird. I think I saw that girl like a couple years later in an Arizona trip, like 8 years later. And I think she was with some boyfriend or something. I was like telling my friend, I was like, yo, I think that's her. Like, what are the odds? Like, she used to live in California. Now she's in Arizona and like Flagstaff. I was like, whoa. So, hey, good example there, right? You don't know where life leads you unless you keep going, right? I don't know when my time's up. Shit, I hope it ain't up before One Piece is concluded and I know the ending of it in its entirety and I can watch it all in one piece. Pun intended. But, it's small things like that that keep you going and wanting to see what's next around the corner. And I think having a love for life and having something that you're passionate about and that kind of grounds you when life is very chaotic and negative things could happen. Luckily, nothing too negative has happened to me. It's more so like maybe my next steps in life that I thought about, but nothing negative objectively. I don't think there's a lot to really complain about while living in the United States. Some people do. I think it's based on, your life situation. I say I'm very blessed. Very grateful for where I am right now, and I don't take that for granted. And I think that's helped me get this state of mind. And I hope for if I was 20, 21, 22, I'm 27 now, like, I was pretty lost. Like, as I said earlier in the video, it's not a fun time. Not a fun time at all. Jeff was quite miserable. But I'm happy to say that it's not me nowadays. And I can gain some wisdom from there I think that's the beauty of growing older, is you have more life experiences, more things to reflect back on and not dwell on them, but whenever that memory comes to you in the present moment where you're like, yeah, I remember that was a nice piece of wisdom. I could look back at that memory fondly, maybe in disgust, embarrassment, whatever, but you don't hold on to it. You can have a laugh about it, right? If it's something embarrassing. That's what I do. I just have it like, oh, remember that time? Yeah, that was so dumb in the moment, bro, but man, I am so glad, because without that memory, it wouldn't have made me the person I am today. And it's, I don't know, I felt very motivated. I was thinking about this, and I'm like, usually when I record, I kind of just sit down and go with the topic that's in my brain, where I'm like, you know what? I like that. Let's talk about it and see where that goes. I don't script it. It's weird because in trying to be authentic, you may be acting in a way. There may be some videos where I was kind of acting, but I try to put my raw, authentic self while talking to a camera, as however authentic you can be when talking to a camera. But I don't know, there's a lot of fake crap out there and content that may not be good for you, but I try to go straight to the point and give you the good stuff and sharing my thoughts and perspectives on things and see if anyone resonates or doesn't. I always read the comments, so agree or disagree, I appreciate them all, because at least someone took time out of their day to interact with my content and leave a comment. So I think that's pretty cool, especially with how distracting and things are today and how your attention goes here, and there. You just don't know where it's going to go. Attention is very precious in today's world, and that's something I'm working on, and I think I may even reflect on in a future video. Who knows? But because lately I've been finding myself, my attention just wanes and it's kind of decreasing, and I don't know if it's something that's wrong with me or more so just consuming a lot of YouTube content and short form content, and more so of reels from friends. Not like, I don't doom scroll. I rather YouTube scroll through longer form content, which is in its own like rabbit hole of ugh. So I've been trying to be more aware of that, but life is good, man. So try to seize the day and see where life takes you and kind of go from there, because you really don't know what's in store for you, whether something good, bad, or neutral. You can learn something from it, or it will benefit you in some way. And I think that comes back to just having faith in how your life will go, and just being that rock of, all right, believe in the you that believes in you now. Isn't that crazy? The thought projection of, hey, maybe I'm feeling self-doubt right now, but for me in this example, right, the Jeff or whoever your name is in the future believes in you. So believe in that version of him believing in you. Pretty powerful stuff, because maybe because you're like, okay, if I could believe in that version of myself, I'm going to make that version proud of me whenever I reach that goal or just going away. Because I think, like, when it comes to fitness, not so much a goal. Goals are great, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm trying to get weight to 165. I got to 172, pretty cool. Pretty cool. What? Excuse me there. I don't know what I was trying. Pretty nice. That's things I was trying to say there. But I've been stagnating for about a week, maybe a week, 0.5, and I'm starting to get a little down. I'm like, is my metabolism slowing? Do I need to change my diet? It's the same calories as I was when I lost the other 8 pounds, but who knows? I'm kind of struggling a little bit with that, and, that's part of the journey. And to not give up or get discouraged and just fall off the wagon and go back into bad habits and overeat and snack and just totally let myself go, because I would be quite disappointed in myself in that. And I believe in a more long-term goal of look good, feel good, and be good. So, be the change you want to see in the world. And you can only do that by taking one day at a time and seeing where things go. So with that, thanks for watching. Catch you in the next video. Have a great rest of your day, morning, evening, wherever you're watching this. Appreciate you watching, as always. Catch you in the next one. Take care until then. Deuces.